Well, hello everyone, and you join us here today because we are going to look at some very, very expensive watches that none of us can afford, and we're going to find some cheaper versions that we can. This week we're actually going to look at watches that are under £300, around $350, so real proper bargain value entry-level stuff. So we're going to start off with a real big hitter, Tom. This is the 5168G Aquanaut. This is a £36,000 watch. Very, very popular, very hard to get, even more expensive on the used market. Can you find me something for less than £300?
Well, I have tried. This is a heck of a challenge to try and find anything halfway chuffing decent for less than $300. So first of all, I've just gone to places that I know do cheap watches that from brands that are reputable. So I was thinking, who's a reputable brand that does mostly cheap watches? And by the way, I've sort of set myself an extra challenge by not just going to Seiko and Timex, because we talk about them a lot. So you won't find any Seikos and Timex, but obviously if you want a watch under $300, they'd probably be your first port of call. But I've gone to Swatch. Do you remember those guys? They created the Speedmaster, the first moon watch.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, it's a very important watch, and Swatch were behind it. So Core Jungle Snake.
Are you sure you're reading that right?
So Core Jungle Snake. So what is unique about the Patek Philippe Aquanaut is that grass green rubberness, and that's what this Jungle Snake has from Swatch. As Swatch says it, when you wake up feeling like an action movie character and you know during the day you'll need extra power to face the challenges of city life, go for Jungle Snake.
Because let's be real, people who are buying the hand grenade-esque Aquanaut, Patek Philippe may say things like the very embodiment of modern sporty chic. What they mean is when you wake up feeling like an action movie character, Jungle Snake, Core.
Yeah.
That's what Patek Philippe mean, but they just don't want to say it because it's not on their brand. I like this thing. It's fun, it's green, it's got that kind of blended case into the strap. It has the same movement as the Speedmaster as well, so that's an extra bonus.
This is £162, which is really getting up there for Swatch. You won't find anything much more expensive than that on Swatch's website. But yeah, it's a quartz chronograph with a sunbrush green dial and silver subdials. The forest green rubber strap with the hand grenade-esque pattern, as we mentioned. And it's a black PVD stainless steel case as well, which is cool, quite stealthy. And it's got my favourite as well, battery hatch. So again, you can stick it to Timpson's. You won't ever need to go in there again. And yeah, if that's too action-packed for you, there is a slightly more traditional sporty stainless steel blue version called the Lost in the Sea, which is slightly cheaper as well because, I don't know, PVD costs more. That's my attempt at finding a sub $300 Aquanaut. Sorry.
Well, I think you've done very well. And also the blue version is more in keeping with the traditional Aquanaut. Right, it's obviously not going to be a Patek Philippe, but if you want something sporty and rubber and chunky and something that feels like you can knock it about and take it anywhere,
yes,
it's a good shout. Dear viewer and listener, join us in roasting Tom's decisions here, his choices. Let us know what you think. Core Jungle Snake or Fwar Jungle Stank? Let us know in the comments below. Right, the next one for you is not going to be quite so easy, I don't think. We've come down in price a little bit, £845, around $1,000. Not the most expensive watch you'll ever find, but certainly not one that is bargain basement. This is the Hamilton Khaki Field Titanium Auto. It's based on military watches, hence the Khaki Field, has a lovely tan suede strap. Very clear and readable dial, very simple case. This is a functional watch for functional people. It costs £845. Tom, what have you got for me that's not going to cost me £845?
So for this one, I've gone for a Bulova.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Bulova A11 Hack. And this is a military heritage inspired watch. Bulova have got a bit of war watch heritage, and they tout this one as being the watch that won the war.
I would probably give credit to the people fighting the war. I don't know which war they're referring to specifically, but maybe one day we will see the watch paraded on a small cushion in an open-top Cadillac through the streets of New York. All hail the inanimate blue dial watch.
Yeah, in A11 Hack we trust. So yeah, this is a sort of military field watch, pilot's watch type thing. It's £299, nice stainless steel case, brown nylon NATO strap, really cool legible navy blue dial with red seconds and white numerals, and I think there's some lume on there as well. 50 metres of water resistance, screw back case, 37mm case, vintage inspired domed crystal, and it's got a Miyota movement inside with a hacking seconds function. I think this is a really nice watch, and if Hamilton's are on the more affordable scale, but if that's still a bit too far out of reach, then I think this is a nice alternative, because you're getting that sort of khaki fieldness that you would get from a Hamilton. Yeah, I like it.
I think you've that's 2 for 2 so far, and probably even closer than the last one. And I think going for a Miyota movement instead of a Swiss one is probably what saved the cash here. So in terms of actual quality, you're probably not deviating too far off of the Hamilton. It's a good watch. What do you in the comments think? Do you think this is the A11 Hack in a good sense, or is this the A11 Hack in the bad sense?
A11 Cack.
A11 Cack. Right, the next one I've got for you, Tom. This is another expensive one, £34,000. The Royal Oak Offshore. As we know, this is designed by Gerald Gento, well, evolved by Emmanuel Guet, I think is how you pronounce that, to a big, chunky, sporty piece here in very tan, black, steel, rugged, very high quality, very stand out as well with the octagonal case. Big chunky screws. Raw, you put this on and you fight a bear with it. £34,000 though, Tom. What have you got for me?
Well, there's only one place you can go when you're trying to find an alternative to the Royal Oak, right? For less than $300, I've got one letter for you. G. And then a word.
I'm shocked.
Yeah, the GA2100 1A1, or as it's been nicknamed by the Anoraks, the Cassiope. We've spoken about the Cassiope before, the G-Shock, but now, just recently, they have released a new series with a twist. So one thing I noticed about the G-Shock when we got our hands on one was it was very hard to read. It's extremely stealthy. It's all black. And it was a bit of a pig to film as well because I couldn't really see anything. It's hard to pick out details.
And if I recall, it was also very hard for you to hear.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's not my fault though. They've pitched the beeps too high. I can hear my F91W perfectly fine. But yeah, we're talking about this 2100 Utility Black series. And now the new twist is neon details on the hands, hour marker tips, day indicator and dial labels.
Excellent. So now with genuine functionality as a watch, as opposed to just a wrist ornament that you can't read.
Yeah. So neon accents in 3 funky fresh flavours, neon blue, neon orange and neon green. So these look really poppin', and I think they're going to be very popular. You could be a purist Cassiope fan, but I don't see why you'd want to get one over one of these.
That would be a very strange situation, wouldn't it, to see the uber enthusiasts arguing over the originality of the Cassiope. Again, I have to say, you're on fire, Tom. 3 out of 3. This is an absolute banger of a watch.
Yeah.
I can't imagine a scenario where someone is wearing a Royal Oak Offshore where they wouldn't look just as cool wearing this G-Shock.
Yeah, sure, definitely. It's the sort of thing you'd see Jake Gyllenhaal wearing when he's playing a cop in a film.
A film called Cop Film.
Yeah. Broody cop man. Anyway.
Okay, well, I think I've given you too easy a challenge so far, so I'm going to up the ante a little bit. We're going to go for some very Swiss Germanic, pared back, industrial styling here. Do you remember the Oxen Junior annual calendar? We did a video of it recently and everyone got mad because it was boring.
Right, yeah.
Fair enough. It's a very simply styled watch. Very, very clever. But there were some people who see this and they think that's exactly the kind of thing I want. But otherwise the brand would be out of business. So this is a £8,000 watch, I think, near $10,000 for the annual calendar version. Go on, Tom, what have you got for me that gives me anything close to this kind of look and feel for less than £300?
Yeah, so the Oxen Junior, Not very exciting, perhaps, but for some people, so I've tried to find something even sexier. Pop quiz, hot shit. What has solid German engineering, award-winning minimalist Bauhaus design, and excellent brand recognition?
Go on.
Well, of course, I'm talking about Braun.
Is it Braun or is it Brown?
That's a good question. I don't think they know. I think it's Braun when it's hair clippers and it's Brown when it's Oral-B toothbrushes. But I've heard both. But I'm going to say Braun because that's what I grew up with.
Fair enough. Well, then you can't make the joke, what's brown and not sticky? The Gents BN0265 Classic Chronograph, which I think is what you've brought for us today.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was looking for some German Bauhaus stuff, and I didn't know that Braun made watches. So this was kind of a novelty for me, and I sort of stuck it in here as a joke. But actually, it's pretty cool. So yeah, this is a quartz chronograph, 40mm in stainless steel. Second, minutes, hours, date in silver with a bit of pop in yellow and red on the date and the seconds. And winner of the IF Design Award in 2019. So award-winning design, Andrew, for £275.
Isn't that the design award that you pay to win?
I don't know. Maybe IF is if you've got the cash, you can win the award.
I tell you what, though, it is a really smart watch, and I would probably say in styling terms, they've done more with it than the Oxen Junior. I know the Oxen Junior isn't about the styling, and this is more about pared back Germanic styling. I actually really like it, and Brown are generally known for taking typical everyday objects and producing beautifully styled versions of them, and this is no exception. Beautiful watch, really, really distinct timepiece. This is for someone who doesn't care so much about the mechanicalness and all of the juicy Swissness, and is more, they want something on their wrist that they look at and think, that's interesting, that's industrial. The question I'm going to ask the audience, however, isn't whether or not they think you made the right choice here, but it's how they think Brown is pronounced. Is it Brown, like Frau, or is it Braun, like Frau?
What?
Insert promo clip.
Okay.
At Braun, we believe in the power of good design.
Silk Expert Pro 5, the latest IPL by Brown.
For our last one, we are going to be looking at the one of the favourites of the Tag Heuer collection. This is the combination of the automotive and the aviation, two for the price of one. This is the Altavia automatic Chronometer Flyback chronograph. If you're looking for heritage, you're looking for style, you're looking for a little bit of modern flair on a vintage touch, and you want a brand that people have heard of, this is a pretty good one to go for. As Tag Heuer goes, this is quite expensive, £5,250 for that retro modern goodness. Can you do me something that's well under 10% of that?
Again, I have tried, I have picked out a Yamar. So this is the Chronograph Super Y70. This is a 70s racing-inspired chronograph. Started in 1948 by French watchmaker Henry Louis Belmont. And that sounds like a proper watchmaker's name, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Or a vampire hunter.
Or he landed his aircraft in Monsieur Belmont's field and took the name.
Could happen. So yeah, made in France, great. And a 39mm square steel case. And it's got a mecha quartz movement, the mechanical quartz hybrid Seiko VK64 inside, a partially integrated rotating kilometer bezel, and a inner elapsed time chapter ring, nice orange or red striping, your choice, applied markers and minute track that evoke iconic racing checkered flag patterns, dome crystal, and you get a mesh bracelet or a leather strap, both included. And $329, so £269, I think, roughly. So yeah, under budget. So what do you think of that?
Well, do you know what, Tom? I think you've made the same mistake again as you did with the Oxen Junior alternative.
Excuse me?
It's a better looking watch than the Altavia.
Right. That's all right, though.
The checkered pattern on the dial around the edge, which is very similar to like the Omega racing dials. The orange stripe, which seems to line up perfectly with the second hand as it gets to 30. That double stacked inner chapter ring and the bezel. I don't know, there's something about it, that integrated case. It's very 70s, it's very interesting. I really like that, actually. I really, really like that.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, another great choice. Another great choice. And it really demonstrates that there are watches out there that you can buy that give you so much of the more expensive pieces for a lot less money. Now, I will caveat that with saying that you may buy one of these pieces and it may instantly fall apart. That part we haven't tested. We're going by the spec, we're going by the looks, and perhaps in the future we might go and dip into the kitty and see if we can get some into the studio. Look at them in more detail.
Yeah, that'd be great. And if you hate my choices and you think I overlooked some belters, let us know in the comments, and maybe we'll do this again in the future with your suggestions and make it a bit better.
Well, let's challenge it even harder. What can you get for less than $100?
Let us know your bargains, please.
No Seikos allowed. Well, lovely. Thank you very much for joining us, everybody, and thank you, Tom, for your suggestions. Let us know in the comments below what you thought of them and what your alternatives might be. Hopefully we've inspired some of you to think about some cool watches that you can actually afford, because not all watches need to cost thousands and thousands of dollars. So, until next time, happy spending, happy bargain hunting, and we'll see you again. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.